Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Toke Moments. Today I have with me my super duper global famous friend, Swanky.
What's up? What's
Who
up?
calls you
Check
that?
mic 1 2. With the stretch.
Who calls you
With the stretch. TM. It's
Swanky? You know what's so weird? There's just a couple of you guys I call like that. Jackie, I know. Every time I say
Right.
Jackie.
With the stretch.
With a straight. Jackie's like, okay, you're the only one who calls me that. And Swanky, every time I get on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, and Swanky picks up, the first thing he hears is
It's a stretch. One time. I already know. I already know.
How are you, my friend?
I'm fine.
Happy
TM. How
New
are you?
Year. The year is still new.
I know. Fresh. I'm already loving it.
You know what? A lot of people do not know how we go way back.
Way back.
Like
right.
way back. Like the TM story will not be complete without Swanky in there somehow. Swanky is the guy that is the energy boost. He's someone you always have to have in your corner because there's never a dull moment. And then if you're ever second guessing yourself and you need to pick me up, Swanky.
One time. You know I got this. You know I got
Swanky.
this.
We've
Yeah.
been through some crazy
So
shit.
much. So
Do you remember when we started out in this industry?
a lot of people would never understand because, like, some of us don't know how to exactly overtell stories or like overshare things. I'm one of those people who never share anything.
And I
I
always
share
encourage you to share.
I share everything but share nothing. So basically, it's like you can never understand the depth of my journey except I tell you. You know what I mean? So it's like, Tia, remember those days when I used to listen to you on radio in the morning, early hours when I'm going back from the club and I'm going home. I'm like, what the hell? How do you do this every damn day? Because
every time I'm on the radio, there's one phone call I always get. I remember the couple of times that I will now give you shout out. Shout out to my friend Swanky, because Swanky's living in a nightclub and I'm already at work. And Swanky will be like, girl, you're already on the radio.
Like how?
And do you remember the first time I ever charged to attend an event? Do you remember that story?
Of course.
I didn't even believe that there was such a thing.
Of course.
Swanky and I were sat at a friend's house where we always used to reconvene. And this call came in for an event. And we're already like, you know how we used to bitch a lot about this industry. But Swanky was always that guy that if you're complaining, you'd be like, don't let train pass you. You just always had that pick me up spirit. No, lost. I don't understand. Don't you know who you are? You're Toke Makinwa. Even then, I was not even Toke Makinwa, but you were just like, you're Toke Makinwa. Lost. I don't get. When you step on the scene, they know you've arrived. I used to be like, why does this guy believe in me so much? And Swanky's like, lost. Ask them for money. Do you remember that story?
Of course.
And I was like, nobody's paying anybody to come to an
I'm
event.
like, nah, girl, they're paying. They are paying.
We were the ones who started it.
Yeah, like literally, they paid.
They paid. So I asked them for 500K. This was...
I know, I remember.
And then when the email came back and they said they will pay, remember how we were screaming and we're like,
what the fuck? Right. Right.
No, but I need to ask you, have you always been this confident? Like, this is not an interview.
Right. I understand. For me, because I never share like things, people don't really know how I got to this point, to this place, right? I was born in a military home, right? And like I was raised by military people, I was one of those kids who used to go to school in like army green military car with like the flag in front, like proper like almost soldier. You understand? So like from a very young age, my family and my parents have built such a, like, I can't even explain it. It's like when you're not afraid of anything. It's like sometimes if I wake up and I say I don't want to go to school today, I won't be like, you must go to school today. My pops will be like, allow the child. If he doesn't, she went to school yesterday. If he doesn't want to go to school today, allow him to sleep. Tomorrow he'll go to school. Like, you guys relax, right? And even though he was in the military, like, I wasn't raised with like hardship where, it wasn't rough. You know what I mean?
People don't actually know you were born with a gold, silver, platinum spoon
babe,
together.
like I wasn't raised, anyhow. Like I was raised with love.
Yeah.
So if I didn't want to do something, my parents would be like, oh, chill. If you want to, fine. They don't over pounce on you to do anything specifically.
Nothing was with force.
Yes, you know what I mean? So I woke up this day. I said, I was tired. I didn't want to go to school. And my dad was like, okay, if you don't want to go to school, well, my friends, the richest of them, they didn't go to school. I'm the most educated ones. All of them have more money than me. So if you don't want to go to school, if you want to go to the East, let's open business for you. Tell us and we will do it. So I'm like, no, just today. So my dad went to work and, like by 10 o'clock, my mom showed up. She was like, in your mind, you think you're not going to, come on, stand up. Yeah, you do. I said, oh, they're going to beat me. I'm late. And I went command all through. I went like military school throughout. My mom said, I was like, they're going to beat me in school. I'm late. She was like, nobody will touch you. I will carry you with the soldier. We will go to school. So I got to school that day and nothing happened. They just took me to my class.
Yeah. Do you think it's because you arrived with all the...
I was like, okay, this, like for me, situations like that kind of build a certain level of confidence for me where it's like, nothing is impossible. Like there's nothing that you cannot do if you set your mind to do it, right? So I've always been this guy, and even though I try to stay authentic to myself, I'm one of those people who know how to read people.
Yeah.
So I don't care what facade you come with. I don't care what parade. I can literally see through what you're doing. So it made life easy for me to kind of navigate around the industry because nothing is forced ever. Like if it's not, it's not. If it is, it is. So
do you remember those days when we used to say things like, when people would be like, oh, people are just faking it to make it. And you used to be like, lost. Of course, that's the way to make it. You fake it till you make it. Right. And for you, it was like, yeah, if there's one, blow your own trumpet. Right. Like, TM, like, I don't understand. Sometimes I'll be like, Swanky will be like, I don't get. I'd lost.
Like, why?
Like, why? You enter that room and blow your... Like, Swanky will sell water to a well.
Right. And like, from the early stage of my life, you remember, like, I used to do a lot of PR for, like, small businesses.
Yes.
If you start up a small business, I can make it blow in 1 minute. If you open a new studio, I can make it pop in, like, because I knew all the bad bitches, all the girls, all the guys, everybody. So it's like...
Let's go.
Let's go to this place. This is where it's happening, and everybody just comes there, right? So... you can't really tell me that I can't do something, If you say I can't do something, it's giving targets. It's giving, it's going to happen right in front of your face.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, on the way to all of the things you've said,
right.
Clearly, we know we live in a world where you don't always wake up confident.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are days that even as the most confident person, you wake up and you're just like, ugh, I just can't do today.
No, TM, I wake up on days like that as well.
Yeah, so
it's not I don't think there's anyone who's attained any level of success that doesn't wake up some days and be like, what the actual fuck? Like, and then when you look around you, nothing is really wrong. Like, you're successful, everything's going well. So why do you feel like this? You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like if you understand your purpose and why you're here, like what you want, like what legacy you want to leave, how you want people to know, remember you, to think of you. Like,
are you always thinking about that though?
No, for me, I'm thinking more of the amount of people I'm impacting their lives.
Yes.
So, like, if I ever wake up and I feel like, I just always think about the number of people that I'm impacting their life because it passes on. So if I'm impacting 100 people, those 100 people spread it to another 100 people. So it's like it never ends. You know what I mean? So for me, when I wake up like that, I don't encounter people. I lock up on my space and retain in my situation until I'm able to not feel like that again before I start to encounter people. That's why if we link up or anytime we meet, there's never I don't think we've ever had a time where it's like my spirit is down.
I was just about to say, like, you're that guy. Every single, and when I tell people this, a lot of people obviously ask me, how are you even friends with Swanky? And I say to them, Swanky is one of those guys that I've never seen you have a bad day. Even when shit is going down, you are the guy that you laugh about. Even I'm like, why are you laughing? She is literally going down. So I'm just like, I beg.
Everybody will be fine.
Everybody will be fine. I want to ask you this, even if it's not an interview, it's every time I talk to you, we talk about this all the time. This was a market that was fairly new in Nigeria. Right. Styling was, brands would be like, why should we pay to get a stylist? And I watched people look at you now, but don't understand how you've had to work your way to the top. You've assisted as a stylist, you've supported businesses, you've done this, even when you don't even know what you were doing. I remember then we were like, Swanky, then you woke up one day and said you're going back to uni, you wanted to go to uni, and then you went through uni. But even when you were in uni, you were always still finding all the side gigs on the side.
You know, I never really told this story, right? When I finished secondary school, right, I was one of the only kids in my family who did not go into university like immediately. Like, you know how it's like jam and then straight up. Why, TM? I wanted to go to Unilag so bad, right? Because I knew that if I left Lagos to go anywhere else to school, it would cramp my hue. You understand? I knew that, this thing could work. So, Augustine, I said, this is Unilag. So I told my parents that I wanted a car to go to Unilag. So my parents were like, what's wrong with this one? All your siblings, did you say I was buying car for anyone to go to uni? If you don't want to go to uni, get the fuck. Like, so we should give you our one car and you should carry the car to your school. And so I was like, no. My mom was like, that's not happening. That if I want to get a car for myself, I can get a car for myself. But they're not going to give me the car in the house and etc. So I was like, you know what? I begged them. I said, please give me 1 year to work and buy myself a car. Then I'll go to Unilag. To my greatest surprise, I said, okay, what? TM, come and see me working. So basically, like, there's nothing. Is it cashier? I've done it. Is it? I've done it. What? I've done it. Don't worry. So you can't really finesse me with anything. And in the space of that 1 year, I was able to do all the shit I needed to do. I bought, at the time, the car that was trending was Picanto. Like, you know that Kia Picanto?
Yeah, I remember.
So I was like, that's the car I want. But at the time I finished working in a year, I was able to buy like a better car. And then I went to Unilag. And in Unilag, every year I was upgrading my car. Why? Because everything I was wearing in school, I always had extra in my car. So I was already making money. So with my peers, like, by the time we graduate, like, you can't, I'm already on, like, I've gone, you know? And, you know, I'll tell you a story, right? When I was in secondary school, I met Derenle, right? I met Derenle at his tailor's place. So there's this guy that used to make all those clothes with pins, Yeah. That's the guy that used to make my school uniform. Because we cannot wear school normal, like you have to custom make your own, you understand? With the collar high, you know?
Oh, I remember those collar high days. Jeez.
So I get into the tailor shop. The tailor shop was in Yaba. I get inside of that place. I saw Derenle. And I obviously know him from television, from Sound City. So I was like, yo, like, is this you in real life? It's like, yes, oh, da, 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 da. And at the time, the first AM Sound City Music Video Award was happening. So he was like, I'm going to give you invite for the event. Da, da, da. So he gave me invites to come to AM. Remember, I was in secondary school. I sneaked out of school with one of my friends, Susan. We went to this award. Babe, we had pictures with all the celebs, everybody, da, 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 da. And because Abe, the guy who used to make Dorele's outfit, was the same guy who made my outfit, right? So I had all those drama, those things. I colored my hair. Babe, that particular day when I got on that place, on that carpet, I knew this was my space.
You knew this was your life?
Yeah.
That was the light bulb moment.
It was the light bulb. And when I got back to school, and I had the physical, because at the time it's printing, they print your pictures for you.
You circulated that shit.
Bruh!
It's
giving baddest in the blog. They're like, what? At the time, Conga, all them guys, like it was a moment for me. So when people see me now and they think, oh, it takes like, 10 years or a decade to actually be anything like this.
I'll tell you guys, Swanky is the guy that if you have a meeting and he says to Swanky, follow me. Swanky, in the car we can be saying, we don't even have money. How are we going to eat? Once we step out, it's lost. Why is there no security guard? Don't you know who's here? See that? I'll be like, Swanky will be like, no, my clients cannot see that. So, excuse me, can I talk to your manager? Excuse me, can I? Even things they've not heard about. I'm like, no. You can't sit with Toke. No, can you put her in a safe room? Yeah, nobody can see. Off the top of your head, that shit just goes flat. I'm like, and it's when people like, how much are they saying? No, sorry, we can't. We don't have money. Oh. So I keep like, no, we can't. Be like, TM lost. I don't understand. For your hue, no, think about styling, think about your clothes, think about flying first class, think about. He will change it for me. Then I'll not be like, yeah, what he said. And bet you guys, we walk out of that place with more than we bargained for.
For real, always.
That's the guy. Are there moments where you were scared that this shit won't work?
Like from the early stage when I started, like I launched my brand in 2012. Like I had a small, like grand thing. And it was around in July. In August, I applied for Yankee visa, but they gave me 2 years or more. I said, New York Fashion Week, let's go.
We were there together.
Exactly, remember?
Do you remember how so much? We didn't even have invites to the main shows. Let me tell you guys. So we said, let's go New York Fashion. We were hustling. Those days of our hustle. Do you remember? So we'll get to New York. Those New York days. Swanky! So Swanky will hear, maybe there's like a Louis Vuitton show at 3 p.m. We don't get tickets. Swanky is not planning to go to the show. You see, Swanky will deck up. And they will know the exact time they're coming out. You see where Getty Image, all of these people, that's where Swanky will go and pose. Next thing, with all his outfits, Chinese people come and walk. Swanky, where are you from?
Right.
I like this. Do you remember?
Of course.
We will not be standing back looking at Swanky like, all of us came here. Swanky just like, lost. Yeah, it's a designer from the Middle East. Is this? And like that, he's making connects. Like that, Getty Image. Swanky has pictures. We now say, Swanky be like, lost. Maybe you were there. You were forming cool. Me, I went in there.
I was screaming.
I remember that particular New York trip.
Yeah, for me, I believe in, I should wake up every day, right? There's always opportunity. And if me and you can be walking past the streets, there's opportunity there. Only one person will see it. You understand? And when I see opportunity, I scream, yeah, see opportunity. Oh. It's not like I'll say, opportunity, let me, no. I scream. So if we're there together and I don't scream, see opportunity, I'm not waiting for you. If you want to move. If you want to sit. I don't already shout, say, see opportunity. You understand? So for me, it's like, the important thing for me when I go to Gadri is connecting with the right people.
Networking has always been a thing.
It's not just dress. No. Lost. There is a purpose. The reason why I'm at this place is because I want to meet 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Done. After I get those contacts, I'm going home. I don't have to stay there the whole day. I finish my work for that place. You understand? So for me, I always know exactly what I want. So it's easy for me to achieve them, And, for me, it's like, it's only recently, TM, that I started to really, like, focus on myself personally. I legit spent a decade of my life focusing on everybody else around me. And what that did to me is, when God is preparing you for somewhere, right? Or if God wants to give you a certain blessing, there's always preparation time. It could be 1 month, it could be 10 years. In that space of time, you might not really understand where God is. So, me, where God is trying to take you to, you might not understand it. But when the blessing finally hits, you will get full understanding of why you had to go through those stages of life before now. Because you would only be, it's like when you take it back to your old self, you're like, imagine this blessing right now happening to you at
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Like, would you have been able to handle it? I don't think you will be able to handle it. So for me, when I started like reaping like massively on my investment as a human being and as a person that has invested into other people for a stretch period of time, you can't tell me shit. You understand? Like you can't, there's not, like you can't shift me.
Yeah, you can't break this.
Yeah, you can't.
I built this on the way.
And also, I don't give people room for closeness. You can't be, you don't know, like we're not guys if we're not guys. You understand? Like you don't know me. So you can't see me on the road and think, oh, you can just approach me. I don't serve that vibe. You understand? So what I've managed to do is being able to cut off the trash and have only the people with substance approach me. Only the people with that are solid approach me. So I don't deal with a lot of things. Yeah. You know, before you come, you're ready. You want to someone to start, you don't have money. Like you can't. It doesn't cross together. Yeah. So it's.
You know what I like to say with what you just to summarize what you've said. Life is lived forward, but only understood backwards. Right. Do you know what I mean? So when we're living and going through and learning and growing and going through different seasons, sometimes we don't know why certain seasons came. Right. But it's when you're reaping those fruits, you now realize that this was the reason why I had to encounter this, and that this person, lately in my life, I tell people there's no lost love. Right. Before, it used to be like, no lost love, I don't give a fuck. But now, I've now come to a place of maturity and understanding where I say to people that even the smallest, shortest relationship in my life happened for a reason. Right. Not everybody needed to come. Some relationships happen to teach me where to eat. Right. Some relationships happen to teach me how to dress. Right. Some relationships happen to elevate me to the next level. Do you know what I mean? Even if we didn't, the goal is not we're together right now, right? Yeah. But at some point I can look back and say, if that didn't happen for me, I would not be here.
For me, I'm one of those people who really appreciate every relationship that I've had in my life. And the reason why that is you can't get the same knowledge from experience as you can get from reading a book. So if you read a book and they say 10 ways to not die or whatever, right? And you experience 10 ways to not die. Trust me, it sticks more when it's an experience. Yeah. And it really teaches you the lesson that you need to learn. And for me, that's like the best. Yeah. That's like the best experience you want to get. You want to learn for yourself. So that when you get, it's like traveling. When you're traveling and you're going to you live for it. Those experiences are things that can never be taken away from you.
Exposure.
Do you get, like, it's your experience. You personally had that encounter. So it changes your mindset. You meet new people every day. They change your mindset. You grow. There are people that you were friends, you can never be friends with them. It's growth. It's not because they're bad people. But at this point, they've served their purpose in the time where they needed to. But at this point in your life, you're gravitating towards this part, and only people on that part can really be on that part. And it's just what it is, For me, I just feel like if you understand why you're here, nothing else really.
The rest is history. Yeah. Understanding why
and,
you're here.
Understanding that people would always talk also is, for me, it's like, yeah, you're going to talk.
Yeah. I'm going to give you something to talk about.
Yeah. Like you're going to... like you're going to talk. Like, I don't care how you're feeling when I come in, I'm a threat. You're going to talk. Right now, like when I travel across the world, I've not been anywhere across the world that I'm not recognized. And if I say that I've seen that thing happen to me before, like before now, you might not really understand.
I do, trust me.
Thank you. But I have seen it, like I have seen it like this happening. So when it's happening to me, I'm one of those people where if you see my photos on Instagram, you don't think I'm approachable. But I'm actually very approachable. You're just not confident enough to approach me. You understand? So if I'm walking, as we're walking, if you count 3 steps, I don't count 8 steps, the leg is flying. Hey. So if I'm walking on that speed, maybe I'm walking or I'm going somewhere and I'm walking on that speed and you see me, if you're confident enough to stop me I'll stop. But if you're shaking and then come and message me after that, oh, I saw you in this thing.
I think
I'm not serious. Do you understand? So I'm very focused, regardless of what's happening around me. I feel go party the next day I have work. I'm shooting. I'm doing my shit. Like nothing would ever come in the road of my focus. Nothing. You know, and TM, you know, when you manage to find peace with yourself, within yourself, it's like your number one priority. So for me, I'm really in like a place where
you're at peace.
You can't come in between my peers. I don't know what your situation is, who you are, what you're doing.
My peace is paramount.
Once it's I don't like messiness. I just remove myself from the situation and pretend like it never happened. So if I was friends with you before and we part ways, I don't even want people to remember we're ever friends. That's how much I remove myself. It means I remove myself from the restaurants you go to. I remove myself from your group of friends. I remove myself from anything that would involve you. So basically, we can't come in contact because my energy, like, I'm so big on my energy, TM. I try so
I love it so much because you know, oh God. This has been such an impactful, you know, I always knew it was going to be like this because as I always say to you, you never share this side of you. People just see Swanky, the fashion guy who does this, but you're one of the deepest people that I know. There are times where we've sat down, we've spoken, and it's so funny how we just always match our mental energy. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we don't even need to talk. We're just in a place that we know and we just laugh and be like, yeah. And it's amazing. And I think in this same session, you've literally motivated so many people out there to believe in themselves. Right. Because if it's not okay here, it can never be okay with the rest of the world. And here is where the work really, really lies. And
you can't sell what you don't have. Yeah. Like, you know, if you don't have confidence, how are you going to put confidence in other people? TMF, you know, like there's people that have encountered that when they got money, they got everything, but they don't have that. It's not there. They still feel some sort of way. And I have to go into their closet and tell them, look, let me tell you something. You're going to wear this fucking two-piece and you're going to carry this bag and you're going to walk into your car and you're going to arrive and everybody's going to tell you look fabulous. Feel like that. Like it's not, you know, they have these things there, but they can't. They can't, you know, so if you don't feel like that, you can't, like, there's nothing that you wear that can make you feel like that.
Now, I'm going to task you with something. With everything that's going on around you, the global, you know, takeover and everything, you owe it to yourself to let the young people who are coming after you, I don't know how you're going to do it, but before the end of this year is one of the things I'm tasking you with. You need that channel where people can learn from you because it's a beautiful thing to watch. There's nothing as beautiful as someone who knows who they are.
Yeah.
And who never forgets who they are.
You know, also for me, I believe in I really believe in doing things very solid, right? Yeah. In the sense that if I'm going to do a wedding, if I'm going to style a wedding, know that that wedding is going to be talked about across the entire world. If I'm going to do a reality TV show, know that that reality TV show is going to be talked across the entire world. Like, I feel like I have invested so much of me into the world. And right now, at this point where I am, I'm in a point where everything is coming back to me. And in life, generally, when you get to a stage of elevation, you have to realize that at this point where I am, from here, I can only go here. Like, I can't reverse. You understand? So when I want to do the tax that you put on me, baby girl, you're going to know about it. You're going to feel it. It's going to be felt. It's going to be something huge that would impact more number of people across the world as opposed to, because TM, I've planted my seed across the continent conveniently from here, from Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. And there's 8,000 people that I've, like across the entire Africa. So for me, I'm so grateful for the number of people that I've actually touched their lives. And like I said in the beginning of this conversation, that amount of people is nothing compared to the amount of people that are going to get
touch. So I feel you when you will know when the time is right.
Exactly. But I definitely take that up because I feel like I have so much in me and I don't even get the time to talk about like what we're just, if this is a conversation I could have had on the phone. Like casually.
Like we always do.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, it's like I'm only doing things for the people that understand where I'm coming from. So if I ever call you TM, as my friends say, TM, going through this, so yeah. Omo, wherever you are across the world,
we're gonna be there.
Wherever you are, because you know that you are running there because at the end of the day, it's an unusual situation. Like you would panic, like if Swanky is feeling something, then there's a problem real. Yeah. So for me, I tried so much to build relationship with people that are not around me. So I have a lot of friends that are not around me. And like when I tell them a story and I seek for their advice, they advise me very non-biased. And I know that conversation dies immediately I drop the phone. Sure. It's not important where they are in their vicinity. There's no room to now say, oh, it's not happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, like the level of peace that I have within me is just what's happening with me right now.
And I love that. I love that for you. I mean, thank you so much for making out the time to have this conversation. I mean, as you said, this is exactly what the podcast is about because these are things that we talk about on the phone. You know what I mean? And we'll be on the phone for like 3 hours and be like, bye, I have to do this, I have to do that, because we keep, there's always room for more. Right. And, the peace that you experience is very, 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 very lovely to watch. I love you, Swanky.
I love you, Tim. I know, this was so cool.
That's the only person I call Swanky.
This was so cool. I know. I feel like we never even talk anything.
We just scratched the surface. Don't worry, we're going to do this again.
For sure.
And so keep watching. This is Toke Moments.